for Liverpool, and wins it for Liverpool. A nerveless penalty, no wonder he's off and running. Well, here they come, these two, so well matched. Illustrated by that League Cup final here, which went to penalties. And two Premier League draws in August at Anfield, attritional, and a joyous encounter in January at Stamford Bridge. A message to a global audience, and we're underway. 2022 FA Cup final in charge. And how about that for a snap clearance from Alisson to Diaz? Here's Keita, the beneficiary of Fabinho's absence. And Diaz is cutting through again. This is a real chance. Scrambled away, but only as far as Naby Keita, who wants to drive it back. He can't find the target, and Luis Diaz is annoyed with himself.
And he just stands up for as long as he possibly could, Mendy. And the second shot from Keita, not a particularly good one, but at the moment, Liverpool are cutting Chelsea apart here. He actually went to ground quite early, but saved it with his feet in the end. Not a great finish from Diaz.
Mendy wanted to drop on it here, and probably could have done, but Chalobah could take no risk, and he almost kicked it against Salah. It would have certainly flown into the net there. James. Pulisic's there! Well, he scored the opening goal in the cup final 2 years ago. It wasn't enough. They lost 2-1 to Arsenal, picked out by Mount.
Thiago Silva with a good diagonal ball. And actually on this occasion, Robertson doesn't defend it well enough. He then flies into the next challenge, and suddenly there's a 2v1 against Virgil van Dijk. And Mason Mount does everything right. Alexander-Arnold goes to sleep.
He's into the squad, they certainly need them. With the Rudiger going, Christensen, we believe, as well. This is better. And it's Marcus Alonso's got a great chance. But Alisson came out, and it was a big spread, a successful one.
Here it is again, it's a good bit of build-up play. Pulisic starts to run with it. Alexander-Arnold doesn't even look at the run of Marcus Alonso. And the first touch from Marcus Alonso just got away from him and took him that little bit wider. Took him onto his left foot, but now Alisson's right on top of him. Almost no way that Alonso can score once he gets that close.
Nicely done by the American. Yeah, that touch cost him the chance, really. Henderson knew the avenues to explore were to the left. In by Robertson, and Jota gets there. And it's the kind of finish that he's very good at, but not that time.
Well, Diaz was wide open. It's all slowed down, switch of play. And then Jota, again, made a very good run in between the two centre-backs. Gets actually too much on it. Robertson with a really good cross right into the danger area. Just lost his confidence completely since he's been at Chelsea.
He started to grow in authority, as Tuchel's side have. Alonso had a good chance, Pulisic just before that, but Liverpool were the team that started as if it's going to be their day. Alisson was a spectator for much of the opening 20 minutes. A similar style of player, really. Now, Mason Mount knows that the flag would go up if he played it, so in the end, Alonso was good play.
Well, the ball should have been played much earlier now, because Liverpool, he would have actually been onside as well, because I think that's really poor defending from Van Dijk. He just stood there and allowed the ball to be played in behind him. Konate was that little bit deeper, and here's a big chance. Good first touch, did everything right, didn't he?
Chelsea are in again, and Alisson saves again. Henderson, and now Jota's found some space and goes at Chelsea. Diaz was not far away.
What from behind the goal? There's a lot of goal to aim for. Mendy started to move one way. I don't think Mendy was going to get there at all. It's a good effort from Diaz. Takes it inside James, inside Kovacic, tries to go back into the near post. Only a fraction wide, but the goalkeeper was nowhere near it.
It's such a proper match-up, this. Right. Keita. Jota!
The ball's won back in a good area. Robertson picks out a decent pass to start with. Mane round the corner. And Jota just pulls off the back of Rudiger and tries to go back across the goalkeeper. How many times have we seen this today? The ball just fizzing past the post.
Nicely into the feet of Mane. Thiago. Keita. Good strike. Took it early. Tried to catch the goalkeeper out in that respect. Good hands from Mendy.
Yeah, his first touch is good here. Thiago picks him out. Drives himself into the box.
Entering the part of proceedings where players start thinking how costly a mistake might be, but how valuable a goal might be. Oh, and that was nearly it. Luis Diaz, who started the game as the most dangerous attacker.
There again you see Antonio Rudiger is playing as a left back here, and Diaz just gets the other side, and it's a good first touch.
Well, both will be concerned here, Klopp, that his player's got the speed. His player is Luis Diaz, and he tries to place it, and it just didn't curl back in.
But he did so well to hold him up here. Injured, an ageing player, but still a very good player. Made him come back on his right foot. He just can't bend it round on target, can he? Diaz, who's been excellent throughout the game. He's looked a real threat.
We go to extra time in the 2022 FA Cup final. Now playing in a cup final. I think others younger have that responsibility. Mount! That kind of shooting has been the reason why we're still here. Another chance for Chelsea to break it open. And another time when the goal is not really threatened by an effort at it. And Roberto Firmino, of course, is on the scene now. Trying to get free. Picked out by Mendy.
That is the end of the extra time.
Well, we've had a lot of good football. We've had two teams totally committed to trying to win the cup. There's not been a defensive station from either side, but they know too much about each other, really. There's been no surprise element. Alonso gets the signal and scores. Of course, Alisson wasn't in goal in the League Cup shootout, so his knowledge will be from video replays and things, not from being out there on the turf.
Good penalty, Alonso. You never know whether he actually saw Alisson going the other way and then passed it into the other corner. Only he will know that.
First up for Liverpool is James Milner, another very experienced penalty taker, who won't be phased. That's not to say he'll score, but he's got the mental toughness to deal with the hostility that Chelsea fans are putting upon him. But it does mean he scores. That's a great penalty.
Just wonder how close Mendy was to this. It looks though it beat him for height.
Which is always a great thing to go for. Well, maybe he pushed it. Did he push it up?
He did push it up. He got his top hand to it. He'll be disappointed that he didn't make a save there, Mendy.
Here's Azpilicueta. Oh, he's at the post. Whether Alisson got a touch to it, but the club skipper, the first blood in the shootout, goes Alisson's way, Liverpool's way.
He doesn't get a touch. He just plays it too wide, doesn't he? He's trying to wrap his foot round it. You see the bit of bend on the ball. Oh, frustration. Despair for Azpilicueta.
Thiago. Mendy dances on the line. He has to keep one foot on the line. And Thiago Panenkas him. Well, when your dad won the World Cup for Brazil via a penalty shootout, I suppose it's in the blood, really.
He was very calm, very composed, made it look very simple in the end.
Craig Pawson just having a word with Alisson. Reece James had a fine game. Short run up and an emphatic penalty.
Yeah, I think he goes down the middle as well. Not quite a Panenka, but I think he just side foots it quite high into the net down the middle. It's okay if Alisson dies, which he did.
So Bobby Firmino, a pretty late substitute. You wouldn't have thought he'd truly got into the game. But this to keep Liverpool in front in the shootout. Stutter, and again the height and the confidence. 3 penalties each, 3-2 Liverpool lead.
Well, absolute relief for Firmino. He sprinted back to the halfway line. This meant so much to him. Oh, it's not a great penalty. It's not right in the corner, but he just slows Mendy down, and Mendy gets a hand to it again and can't push it away. He's had a couple of chances, Mendy, to make saves.
So Ross Barkley was brought on for just this moment. The Chelsea player, born in Liverpool. Made his name with Everton, the great Liverpool rivals on Merseyside, and he can take a penalty all right.
Well, it's always a gamble putting somebody on to take a penalty when they haven't had any touches of the ball. They've been sat on the bench for over a couple of hours. It's not in the corner, but he strikes it nicely. I saw when England lost to Italy, that was the case.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, like Ross Barkley, from Liverpool, a local hero for the red side of Merseyside. A very good striker of a football, but taking corners and free kicks is not quite like taking a penalty in an FA Cup final shootout. How will he shape up? Chelsea hoping Mendy can come up with something, but he doesn't. Alexander-Arnold puts Liverpool on the brink. They are 4 out of 4.
Yeah, good penalty. Just side foots it into the opposite corner. Now Jorginho, he's been a great penalty taker for several years, and then he's had some really bad ones in recent times.
Yeah, his last one was saved by Fabianski at West Ham. He missed. Jordan Pickford outwitted him here at Wembley at this very end of the stadium in the Euro 2020 final. He has to score. Jorginho, and he does.
Well, it wasn't the hop, skip and jump.
No.
He didn't want to do that. He just passed it into the corner. Now he's demanding Mendy makes a save.
So who are Liverpool going to step forward here? It's Sadio Mane. No stranger to shootouts for club or country. And it's Senegalese against Senegalese. International teammates. They would have trained together. Almost a respectful look from Mane.
Yeah, Craig Paulson isn't letting Mondi go and have a chat with him, is he?
No.
Stood in his way. Get back on your line.
Well, in Senegal, everyone will be watching this. Mane marks out his run. And it's saved by Edouard Mendy. He came up with the save when Chelsea were begging him to do it. Even the great players can suffer anxiety in this situation, and Sadio Mane is a great player.
But what a good save. He has to have a strong hand.
But the delay surely cannot help Ziyech, trying to keep his concentration here, and he has done. So Chelsea are back in front, and the onus now is on the next Liverpool player to score. Whipped in by Ziyech.
Great technique. No chance for Alisson whatsoever.
Mendy protected Chelsea with the last save. He can win it for Chelsea if he saves this one. Jota, but he doesn't.
Well, that could be the best of the lot. High into the corner. Goalkeeper going the wrong way. It's quite in the corner, but the height would have beaten Mendy anyway.
And Mason Mount, who, if he was thinking about it, who knows, but had such an unfortunate record in his career in matches at Wembley. Here he goes, and it's saved by Alisson. That unfortunate period goes on for this very gifted young player.
Well, what a shame for Mason Mount. Brilliant from Alisson. Again, a strong bottom hand.
Well, the next with a chance to win it for Liverpool is the man they call the Greek Scouser, Kostas Tsimikas. Chelsea need Mendy again. The highest of dramas here. Tsimikas for Liverpool, and wins it for Liverpool. A nerveless penalty, no wonder he's off and running. They win the FA Cup at the expense of Chelsea. And just like in the League Cup, in the final here in February, they've done it via a penalty shootout. A domestic double, their quadruple is still on. An unwanted history for Chelsea. 3 FA Cup final defeats in a row. Throw in that League Cup final as well. It's been a wretched Wembley for them in recent years. The crowd are getting ready. You have to say it. These Reds are simply relentless. They are FA Cup winners 2022.